The Cauldron of Curiosities would like to welcome the merry month of May. We're exploring the hedgerows of Cornwall and looking at how these trees and plants can help with self-care and intertwine a weaving of stories, poems and songs that resonate with where we live. Banks of nettles. What do nettles mean to you? I remember when I was a child, my grandmother used to have a goat, and the goat used to quite happily butt me into the stinging nettle patch or the bramble patch that was in the top field. And it's interesting, isn't it, how the nettle reacts to our skin and we get the itchy lumps, and it's painful. I think nettles are a good way of reminding ourselves of getting back in touch with our senses, especially the sense of touch. As a herb, stinging nettles themselves are a good source of antihistamine, so you don't have to take those tablets that the GP might give you. You could try nettle itself. You could even start collecting your own, and you can see at the moment we have plenty of new growth on these stinging nettles. At this time of year, the new growth in these nettles can be foraged as well, and you can eat them. They cook up well. You would do them like you might cook wilted spinach. Often within these nettles you can see cleavers, and cleavers are another plant that you can use in part of your self-care routine. So today we will mention both of them, because what you can do with the cleavers is you can take clean samples where the dogs haven't been near and put them in your bottle of drinking water. And cleavers is a plant that can help clear your system, as in it will help clear some of the toxins that might be in your blood. And it's known to help with getting rid of things that might be building up in your liver and kidneys as well. But you might want to look up the research on that. I'm not quoting that, I'm just saying they are a herb that has been used with that. And some people find having cleavers within a bottle of water quite refreshing. But let's go back to the nettle. Yes, you can eat the nettle, and you can eat the nettle and the cleavers, and it goes really well with wild garlic. There's a lady called Jane Gray. You can find her on Facebook, and she has a website called Nettle Revolution. And Jane is a textile designer, and she uses nettles to create cloth. And Jane also has a number of other items that she makes using nettles, because she believes they're a good source not only for us to ingest, but also for us to wear. You can see Bumble's about to cause a bit of a blockage in the road for cyclists. So what else do nettles do? Well, nettles remind me of stories that I used to hear when I was young, because the nettles used to twitch when the weasels were moving in the hedgerow and spying on Brer Rabbit. Have you ever read the books by Alison Utley about Brer Rabbit? She used to live in a little cottage, and it reminds me of some of the stories that we tell ourselves when we're children that make ourselves feel comfortable and that we've got a special place. And this cottage that Brer Rabbit had, she lived with a squirrel and a hare, and they all did very well together. But it's interesting when you look back on the different roles that they had. But I digress from the nettles. Nettles are full of nitrogen, and I noticed quite a few years ago that nettles that had been slightly bruised and maybe trodden upon used to get eaten by Cara, my daughter's horse. So was she eating them then because the nettles had lost some of their stinging power? But you can harvest the nettles and put them, dry them, hang them upside down and make tea out of them. And nettle tea is very refreshing. If you're harvesting your nettles from a place where there's no pollution and no pesticides have been used, and if you look around here, there's plenty of nettles and no sign of pesticides, and you can see we've also got lots of buttercups here. So taking the ones that are higher up would be a good idea, and you could hang them upside down in a dry place and make tea from them.